saying it, but read in my prayers are for him. This is a tremendous and extraordinary moment, and the passing of the crown is always a great moment, but it is a very, from a very, very long-serving monarch. It is particularly, I think, a moment of great, profound significance and a great challenge.
That challenge begins now. The main news again, King Charles has left Balmoral and is now preparing to address the British people for the first time as their king. The country is now entering a period of national mourning that will end 1 week after the Queen's funeral. World leaders are preparing to attend that funeral and are offering fulsome tributes to the late Queen and sending messages of condolence to the UK's new monarch. Church bells are ringing across Britain as crowds leave flowers at Buckingham Palace. And that is the latest feature story news. Simon Marks reporting.
Don't forget, you can listen online too at kchw.org.
Good morning. It's KCHW 102.7, getting started with the Friday edition of the KCHW Morning Show at his home, live from Addie. It's the one and only Phillip Dutton this morning. Welcome, Phillip. Whoop, whoop, whoop,
whoop. Good morning.
At Master Control in Twila, you've got the one and only Michelle Williams. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning, everybody.
Michelle's running by the seat of her pants today.
Yeah, well.
And we lost Phillip. He logged into the wrong Zoom meeting, but we got him back, so that's all good, too. And me, Scott Allen, from the crazy state of Maine. Yay! If it makes you feel better back in Twila, I am still not sure I like it.
No, really?
Yeah.
What's so crazy about it?
Nothing.
That's exactly right. Thank you, Michelle. That's totally true. There is not a lot going on around here. Let's just say that. I miss Chihuahua and all the events and always something to do and something happening. They don't have that here. Yeah. I remember when I drove into the town, I was like, oh my God, where did they talk me into moving? They haven't seen a new building here. That isn't some kind of like corporate building like a Dollar General. I mean, the Dollar General is the newest building. There is one hardware store, and I don't know if it's a new facade or if it's a new hardware store, but they haven't seen new buildings around here in a really long time. So very, very rural.
Maybe some of us over here should get a little group together and come over and throw a party.
Yeah, I need that. Although who can afford to fly coast to coast? Yeah. Wow. All right. In Chihuahua today, plenty of sunshine, 79. Very nice temperature for you guys. 46 for an overnight low. You were saying it got really chilly up in the mountains last night.
Yes, it did.
You had some frost this morning?
That's what my husband said. He gets up and leaves earlier than I do. It's still dark when he leaves, and he said that there was frost on his windshield this morning. So it's coming. Cover your tomatoes, people.
Did you see your breath in Addie this morning there, Phillip?
No. Nope.
Okay.
Not yet.
All right.
Did you go outside?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, just checking.
All right. 85 for Saturday, so a little bit warmer. 47 for overnight low. Lots of sunshine. Partly cloudy for Sunday, though. 89 and 57. Monday right now, 84 and 52 with cloudy skies, but only a 4% chance of rain. Sorry, I know you guys need some rain really bad. Next week, you're hanging out in the mid-80s is the way it looks right now. So they've kind of changed those temperatures for next week. It was looked like you were hanging out in the 70s, but not so. All right. Here in the wonderful state of Maine. Let's see. It won't even pop up. Oh, I kind of got the same weather you do. My high temperature is 79 and sunny today as well. So very cool.
Nice.
All right.
All right. Let's get things started. I guess the first thing is a lot of people in mourning. I don't know if you could be shocked about the Queen passing because of her age. You know, and we'd heard of the health warning, so I think that was kind of obvious. What surprised me is I think a lot of the media organizations must have put packages together about the Queen's life way beforehand, because as soon as she passed, I mean, CNN, Pluto News, Sky News, everybody was running, stories on the Queen's life. And I watched it for probably over an hour last night, a few different ones. And I was surprised at the lack of knowledge I had about the Queen. And then I realized that, my entire life, there's always been a Queen of England. So, I'm not that old. So amazing. Some 70 years she was on the throne. I know the Capitol has their flags at half staff, and I hope around the country that city municipalities and post offices are doing the same thing. I'd be curious to find out.
I saw it at the golf course.
All right. Good deal.
It's an interesting change for like the whole world,
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it'll go for, long live the king. He's had problems in his life, and I think a lot of people disliked him because of the whole Diana thing years ago. And he's got some image problems that hopefully he'll be able to shore up, I guess.
I don't know if either of you watched it, but and even if it's not, taken on a one-on-one or one-for-one factual basis, but that show, The Crown, that was on Netflix, is pretty illuminating in terms of like, what type of presence this woman, started as and then became over the course of, because when was she queen? 1952, I think, is when she.
I thought I heard 53, but close enough. Yeah.
Started. Yeah. So just the, stuff, major world things that happened over the course of her lifetime. And, it probably didn't start off super easy.
Right.
I can't imagine that job is real, something that you just know exactly what you're doing right when you get into it.
Especially for a young woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
At that time too.
Right.
And she really just a huge, powerful presence, and as a woman, it's pretty cool.
There are a lot of people in America that have really followed that, and it's part of their, I guess, life and respect and that kind of stuff. I was really surprised. There was a professor at Carnegie Mellon University that came out with like a horrible tirade on the Queen and saying basically, yay. And I imagine she's in hiding today. Oh man, at least I hope she is. She should be.
Right.
If you've got something to talk about, maybe something in history that people aren't looking at, wait a little bit. Why would you just run with that immediately upon her death? That's horrible.
Right.
For anybody. Show some respect.
Well, anyone that's going to celebrate the passing of another life has got some issues.
Yeah.
No dancing on graves.
No, it's highly frowned upon.
Yes. Keep your mouth shut. There's certain times. All right. Speaking of our weather, Hurricane K is adding to the most unusual and extreme weather week California has ever seen. I was checking this out. It's scary. More global warming, I guess. After days of record-breaking heat and the eruption of several new wildfires, Californians in the southern part of the state are bracing for the potential impacts of Hurricane K, a system that is expected to bring strong winds and more than a year's worth of rainfall over the next 36 hours.
Holy moly.
A year's worth.
Maybe I'm just don't watch the news, or maybe I'm just going to really air out my ignorance on this openly, and I don't care, but I don't think I've ever heard of a hurricane hitting California. Am I wrong?
It's not the most commonplace, but no, they've gotten it before, but not, I guess, harshly.
Right.
They usually kind of wind down their spin and turn into like a tropical storm. What it says here is while the hurricane is forecast to make landfall in Mexico's Baja California before being downgraded to a tropical storm and spinning for days off the California coast, its impacts will be felt across much of Southern California and southwestern Arizona. And I imagine with a year's worth of rain in 36 hours, there's probably going to be, especially when everything's dry, there's probably going to be massive flooding. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, my brother's in Yuma. I'm gonna have to get a hold of him. That's kind of scary.
Yeah, and I don't have the knowledge about hurricanes in California either. That'd have to be something to Google.
Yeah,
Um,
I didn't think that was a very common occurrence. I hadn't heard of that ever before. Usually it's on in the Gulf side.
yeah. Well, and then for those of us in Washington, we seem to kind of ignore California. I think the rest of the country does too.
Until they move here and then we complain about them.
Then we complain about them.
Sorry. But
Well, I hope the hurricanes don't follow up to us like their wildfires do. That's all I can say.
Did you hear that there was an earthquake last night in Western Washington?
I did, like
No.
3.8, right?
Yeah, which is not, super big, but I have lived through a few 8 earthquakes over there myself, and it's definitely surreal. I remember being a kid. I don't know. I think I was even young enough to be at a babysitter's house, and we were sitting in a basement. And I don't know if it's my mind exaggerating it now that I'm older, but I distinctly remember the ground, which was concrete, doing the like little roll.
Mm-hmm.
Because this one was like a 5 point something, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But
I lived over there for quite a while before, like 20 something years ago, before I moved over here. And I remember there was one in like 2001 where like I went outside and the telephone poles were doing the
yeah. It's a really weird thing. And this one was at like 1 o'clock in the morning or something, so probably most people slept through it. But
yeah, there was a big one. I've talked about it before in Idaho. I think it was my senior year of high school in Chihuahua, so 84. A big one in Idaho that actually, brought some facades of buildings down and stuff like that. I think it was close to a 7, and that one shook Chihuahua. I remember it was my senior year, and my parents had already moved away from Chihuahua, and I was living in their RV in the campground. And I thought I had a buddy that walked across the highway and would catch a ride with me to school because he still didn't have a car. And I thought he was on top of the RV shaking it. And I jumped out and there's nobody on top of the RV. And then I realized all the power lines were shaking and that everybody was outside the 49er motel standing there looking. And then I realized I was in my underwear.
Yes.
Nice.
Nice thing about RVs, though, they usually don't crumble around you like a house.
Right.
Yeah, so
They're used to moving.
yes, but not. It wouldn't be out of the ordinary. There's been a couple times Chihuahua has felt a little shake just because of our proximity to the fault lines in Idaho, which I guess they have a few.
Mm.
I mean, they're kind of known for earthquakes over there too. Actually, they had one in Maine a couple weeks ago. I think I mentioned it on the radio. Extremely rare. And it was about the size of the one that happened the night before last, to like a 3.8 or something like that. And hardly anybody felt it. So.
Wow.
All right.
When you say rare, like,
doesn't happen. Normally doesn't happen.
Twice a century or something.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. And usually just little ones. So not on any major fault lines. Let's see. Another news story is, and this is another one. Can we wait a little bit? India is demanding the return of one of the crown jewels. And I found the story very interesting. It's on Yahoo this morning, but it's quite long. And it's talking about the Kohinoor diamond, like 793 carats when it was uncut.
Wow.
It, through wars, has traveled through many different countries and leaders that claimed it as theirs, something that was, I think, stolen basically several times. There was 4 different countries, including India and Pakistan, that had claimed that diamond as theirs at one time. And then in the 50s, it got put into the crown. And they came out immediately as soon as she passed away and said, India said, we want our diamond back. But so did 3 other countries. So
Oh, jeez.
it's like, wow, really, people? It's so obnoxious.
I must have my shiny rock.
Yeah. Show me the money. All right. Let's see. Justice Department has a whole new set of, I guess, charges for Trump that they announced yesterday in a totally different arena. Let's see. Federal grand jury is reportedly seeking information about Donald Trump's Save America leadership PAC as the investigations into the former president continue to expand. ABC reported this on Thursday. Subpoenas issued in recent weeks have asked recipients about the Political Action Committee's formation, its fundraising activities, and its spending. Department of Justice declined to comment. Trump spokesman did not respond to requests either. They said Trump is now the subject of numerous ongoing federal and state investigations, including the probing of his role in the January 6th attack at the U.S. Capitol building, his efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 election, and how thousands of government records, including documents and highly classified markings, ended up at his private Mar-a-Lago club. The thing that is really weird about this is when you look into the fundraising activities, they've just done this, and 3 people already pled guilty. And if you've been watching the news, you know Steve Bannon's got indicted yesterday, and he's fighting it. And that was in regards to fundraising activities for the Build the Wall, where they say 1 million people in New York were defrauded. So it really makes you wonder, were people lining their pockets with this one too? I mean, it all seems just a little bit too crazy to me. And then a story this morning on CNN where they found that what they called hardcore mega people, that hardcore mega representatives infiltrating across the country positions of power at elections facilities. That's kind of scary too. I mean, the whole world's just out of control. And I guess that's the one thing that makes me happy. I'm hiding up here in Maine.
That is wild.
Yeah, so much. It's hard to decipher through it. And then for the second time in a week, you know, the police around the country have enough problems. And for the second time in a week, a shooting that appears to just be, I don't know, blatant, not giving the suspect time to surrender or anything. This one yesterday happened at a funeral. Jason Arnie Owens helped carry his father's casket to a hearse, then turned to embrace a relative. He never made it to the cemetery. It says as mourners gathered outside a northern West Virginia funeral home, 2 plainclothes officers with a fugitive warrant. I guess this actually happened on the 24th. It's just making it to the news. A fugitive warrant swooped in from separate vehicles, called Owens' name, and shot him dead before he could even respond. You know, the story gets kind of descriptive. I'm not going to do that. Talking about, you know, what happened when he was shot to the people standing close to him. You can just imagine. Onlookers say it was in the blink of an eye. Stunned friends and family already mourning. One member lost another, but now they want answers. It says law enforcement officials aren't explaining much right now, citing an ongoing investigation. Owens, 37, was wanted on a fugitive warrant, but the U.S. Marshals Service hasn't said what it was for. Agency also said in a statement that he had a gun when members of the fugitive task force approached. Multiple witnesses contend that simply wasn't true. White Cotton and others who stood just feet away said Owens was unarmed, had been hugging his aunt, and was fired on immediately after his name was called. So they say he was never even given a chance to surrender. He never pulled a gun or anything. So more trouble there. What prompts an officer to do something like that?
Fear.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And what a, you know, you couldn't find him at another location,
right,
after the funeral was over and he was getting into his car. What if he would have had a gun?
Sounds like a mob hit. Like, come on, you guys. Like, you're supposed to be professionals in your trade. Like, can we not look like criminals?
Yeah. So that doesn't help the ongoing situation with police problems and claims of brutality across the country. That stuff just kind of adds to it when it hits the news, I think.
I definitely, I don't know what it's like to be an officer of the law, so I can't begin to tell you how hard that or difficult that job is. I imagine it's pretty difficult, but I just think that, that people, I don't know. We have become like a shoot first, ask the questions later type of, oversight. And it seems like, I don't know, some different ideas definitely need to be in play.
Looking at the other side of it, potential situation I was in the other day, just because me and my daughter wanted to do the right thing. And a lot of people say, "Oh, Scott, you're too far left," or some of my comments are too far left. But I am somebody who is also, for some of those, I'm really on the environment, but I'm also really on the right to have guns. And we were going to the store in this small town, and you see the crazy stuff happening across our nation and the shootings and everything. And we see a young lady walking on the side of the road, and a guy in a car that's like pulled over into the shoulder, blocking her from walking any further. So we slow down and we're watching, and she's trying to get away from this car, but he's not letting her. So we immediately pull into the next turnoff and hop out of the car. And my daughter says, "Just let me approach her." And she walks up to find out if she's okay. And apparently they were having some kind of argument, and she wanted to walk home, and he didn't want to let her. It never got violent. And she said she was okay. And then we just my daughter walked back to my car, and we just kind of watched her. But at that exact moment, I said, wow, I don't even have my taser. If something went south. And then, because I've got one of those handheld ones in case you're attacked. And then I thought, that's not good enough in a situation like that. What if this guy's a nutball and he's armed? Now my daughter's in danger and I have no way to protect her. And that's when I thought, what? The way things are going, does everybody just need to pack a gun? I mean, because I looked at that situation, and while it didn't go south, how easily could it have?
Right.
And I wouldn't have been able to protect if that person would have had a gun, I wouldn't have been able to protect my daughter in any way. And you never know when these stupid situations where somebody who's just unhinged is going to happen. So I'm going to go back out. I haven't had one in years, but I'm going to go back out and get a concealed weapons permit. It just kind of showed me you never know what could happen and how quickly it happened. And that's really sad when I look at it, that I feel that way, that I feel like I probably should go get the concealed weapons permit and have a gun under my seat.
Well, and I kind of feel like if more people took that responsible end of things and got their concealed weapons permit, or just even, in places where you're allowed to open carry, and I don't know where we stand with that as far as Washington is right now. I thought that we were, but then I heard that we were changing that, so I'm not sure. But if more responsible civilians carried firearms, I think it would dissuade a lot of the people that would potentially be, apt to be threatening or pull some of this stuff to maybe think twice.
Yeah, and you don't hear the stories where they're not as prevalent. I think it happens more than we hear about it in the news, where something was stopped because somebody did have a gun. The cool one I always liked that came to mind, there was a guy, and I don't even remember what town it was in. This was a couple years ago. He was entering a movie theater with the intent to shoot people, and he came through the front doors armed, and there just happened to be an off-duty female police officer at the concession stand who stopped him right there, lethally.
Yep.
And what would have happened, if she wouldn't have had her gun on her?
Right.
So,
and of course,
touchy.
Yeah. You really have to look at who's sponsoring these news stories or who's sponsoring these news stations, when you think about why we're not getting stories like that.
And that is another fault. I'm going to point that one on the government, just from being in media. When I started out in media, there was a federal law that you could only own one television station and one radio station in a given community. I think it was maybe two radio stations. You could have an AM and an FM and a TV, but that's it. And then at one point even, and I can't remember which TV station was. It seems to me it might have been Q6, but I can't remember at the time what the company was. But the government actually came in and forced deregulation because one of the TV stations owned a TV, an AM and an FM, and a newspaper, and that was not allowed. So they had to sell off one, and then they ended up selling off the TV and the radio and keeping the newspaper. But I think that was a good law. to keep
definitely.
fairness in reporting. And they deregulated that so you can own as many of whatever you want. And now you have companies like Clear Channel that own half the radio stations in the world.
Yeah, that's not
That's
okay.
too much power for one media organization to wield and disseminate maybe information that isn't correct, or like you're saying, leans toward pro-gun or anti-gun
Right.
or whatever you want. It's too much power for one organization, and
Well,
it's really sad that the government let that happen.
and it takes and it oversaturates the airwaves with one-sided opinions.
Yeah.
And it kind of unfortunately takes away some of the power for people to think for themselves or make the decision to look into things and research things themselves. Because, I mean, really, who has time to research every little thing that you hear? In the life that we live, we just don't have time to look everything up.
And I don't think those filters always work. And it seems like we're in this point now where if we hear something that we wish was true, or our belief system jives with,
right.
we'll glom onto it and claim it as reality without any proof whatsoever.
Right.
At what point does I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with owning a gun, but at what point does like you said, you're thinking about doing this, but like when does a gun escalate a situation that otherwise wouldn't have been that escalated?
I've asked myself that before because when I was in my 20s, I lived in Seattle and I worked nightclubs, and I was in a couple bad situations, and I went out and got a concealed weapons permit where somebody was waiting for me after work and followed me because I had angered them in the nightclub, right?
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I went out and got a concealed weapons permit. And I asked myself that same question, Phillip. And this is going to sound kind of horrible. And I just hope kind of people can I thought about that. Is that when that situation was ongoing, if I had a gun in my hand, I would have used it. But if I look back at that situation, I believe in a court of law, I would have been justified. And if I would have taken someone's life, they were trying to take mine. So I don't think I'd be, I might have some kind of vision of the event in my mind that haunted me. I'll never know that. But at the same time, when I look back at that and said, if I had a gun, I would have used it. And I should have, is the conclusion I came to, for myself.
I just think about,
if I would have had a gun in my hand, I should have used it. They deserved it. But at the same time, I got out of that situation because I had a really fast car. And they were not as good of drivers as me. So
I just think that there's, probably lots of situations where, somebody used a gun when there wasn't, I get it if your life's being threatened, but what's your life being threatened is getting cut off in traffic. Your life being threatened
no,
is,
that doesn't qualify.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I guess that's where who gets to have a gun comes into play. I don't know. I get why it's such a touchy subject.
Yeah, I was just, like I said on the previous story, I was just horrified when I realized that this is could be a domestic violence situation. This is kind of like Eastern Washington here. A lot of people are open carrying. Everybody's packing. So there was an older gentleman got out of his pickup, and I almost looked at him and said, "Are you packing? Would you stand here for a minute?" Just because I was worried about my daughter's safety. So, all right, scary stuff. Should we leave it all alone and move on to anything funner today?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Oh, let's do that. All right, let's start off with a few public events. We got one in from Deborah Barbie. Let's see, I think that came in last night.
Yep.
And we talked to her about this through Facebook during a live show, I think last week. And it's the Hands Across Nation annual fundraiser that benefits their work in Uganda. It's a fun fundraiser and a silent auction. It's happening at 302 East Webster in Chihuahua at the church. Doors open at 4:30 and dinner is served from 5:30 to 6. And Deborah, you forgot to put a date on here.
It's going to be October 8th, I believe.
October 8th. All right. Roast beef dinner, homemade desserts, silent auction, handcraft table. Keith and Carol and updates, current and future hopes and dreams for Hands Across Nations in Uganda, and new videos and stories of people impacted by the generous donors here in the United States, and more importantly, money that comes right from Chihuahua to help those people. This has been going on for years. And the date, once again, Michelle, thank you.
Let me correct that. The chamber auction is October 8th. The Hands Across Nations auction is October 15th.
October 15th. All right. If we're wrong about that, I know Deborah listens a lot in posts, so give us a heads up. But I wanted to give that a little tease. Now, looking ahead toward today and the weekend, Chihuahua Farmers Market in the park, and this is always an exciting one. So much fun to watch. Apple pie eating contest. If you're not doing anything this afternoon, they usually push it till the end of the market, and of course that runs from 11 to 3:30. But it's so much fun. They hold it off so the kids from high school and from the schools can come in and enjoy it too. But it's so much fun to watch people with pie all over their face.
Nice.
All right. Let's see. Animal Sanctuary shot clinic going on in Colville tomorrow, beginning at 10 a.m. Just runs till noon. So if you need more information on that, call the sanctuary, but you just have a 2-hour window to participate in that. And then so much fun, years and years of theater in Chihuahua, and a whole lot of it put on by the Park Avenue Players. And they're having a reunion on Saturday night from 6 to 10 p.m. at the Chihuahua Center for the Arts. So if you've ever been involved, we were talking to Sharon about this earlier in the week. Even if you're running lights and sound and that kind of stuff, if you've ever been a part of Park Avenue Players in any way, come join the reunion. And again, it's going to be a fun time for them. I believe it's a potluck that goes on from 6 until 10 o'clock on Saturday night. You have anything on your list that I'm missing, Michelle, that you want to toss out there?
I think you covered all of it. Let me check my calendar again real quick. Yeah.
Okay. You mean I did good?
Oh, you did so good. So good.
All right. Let's move on then to bits and breaks. This is a fun one, Phillip. I like this. It's what's a mispronunciation that drives you nuts with Mr. Phillip Dutton. And online on Facebook, David's asking if you were related to the Dutton Ranch family. And I'm going to think that's a no.
It's the show Yellowstone.
Oh, it's a joke then.
Yeah, okay. The whole family in that show is the Duttons, and it's funny because now you can buy Yellowstone T-shirts at Walmart and stuff that say Dutton Ranch.
Nice.
Have you bought one yet?
No.
All right, I'd roll. All right, KCHW Chihuahua right now. It is 7:57. Phillip, mispronunciations.
Yeah, these are just a couple that were taken for social media, some that I definitely can relate to as hearing often. Let's see. Take it for granted instead of taking it for granted.
Okay. I kind of like that one, though.
Granted?
Yeah, I'm going to take it for granted.
I guess, I don't know. Sometimes maybe people just speak quickly or fast, and then you don't understand. Maybe you're mishearing it. I don't know. Or maybe it's where you're from. Let's see. Wreaking havoc, not wrecking havoc. Wrecking havoc. This one I hear all the time. As a Mariners fan, there's a person on their broadcast that says this often, which I find highly entertaining. It's someone saying Pacific instead of specific.
I know specifically what you're talking about.
Yeah. And the other thing they say is especially.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's an easy one to do, though. It seems like it should have an EX.
Especially?
Yeah.
Let's see. This person's wife says mannerism like aneurysm. And he says he thinks that she's gonna give him one by saying it.
So she's saying mannerism instead of mannerism. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Mannerism. Let's see. For all intensive purposes,
That could work though.
just blending two words together, intents and purposes. Nip it in the butt. Not nip it instead of nip it in the bud.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then let's see. Library. I can't even say it. Library instead of library.
That's a tough one.
Sounds like a cereal, like a kid cereal. Count Chocula. And then I hear this one often. What kind of dressings do you have? We have ranch, we have raspberry vinaigrette, we have Italian.
Is it Italian?
Italian, yes. And last one is a crossed.
With a T.
Yes.
It doesn't even look right when you can see it spelled.
I was waving at you across the street, Scott.
I saw that. And then I had one, a friend of mine, I don't see him logged on this morning, but he likes the word mind-boggling. And one night we were sitting around, and I think it was maybe the second time he said it, I was like, that's mind-boggling, right? And then I realized he's not the only one that does it. Here you go.
Mind-boggling, isn't it?
Did you just say mind-boggling?
Yeah, mind-boggling. When things are so crazy, it gets your thoughts all trapped like in a bottle.
Mind-boggling. All right, I'm sticking with that one. I like it. All right, next up, this is kind of a fun one for all of us. It says, you've just been given a bar, but the name must change. What would you name it? Uh-huh. Anybody? Huh?
The party house.
Party house. Huh.
Or the band house.
Okay.
I was going to call mine Wasted Monument.
Ooh.
And if I could have a bar, I'd call it the Silly Saloon.
Oh, jeez. You can have one of those wacky inflatable tube mans out front.
Yes. Welcome to the Silly Saloon. There's another depressing thing about the town I live in. No dive bar.
Oh, what?
No tavern. No tavern, period.
How many?
Not that I'm a big drinker, but sometimes you want to go to the tavern and shoot a game of pool. No taverns.
No bar?
No, I got to drive like for 30 minutes to get to a dive bar.
Wow.
What?
How many churches do they have?
Oh.
There you go.
32. I know.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's that old joke. There's a church on every corner. The one thing, though, I will, this is Old English. This is New England, and the buildings, the churches. We've got a beautiful Catholic church. They're all that good or better.
Wow.
There are fabulous churches. It's absolutely amazing, beautiful. If you're friends with me on Facebook, on my personal page, I posted some pictures of some stained glass work and the organ in a church, and that was from the Maine Maritime Museum. They had a church on their property, and it's very old. The organ is incredible. So
neat.
All right. Any other good bar names? Coming up with anything?
Loose Screw.
Yeah. I like that one.
The Crazy House, and you can spell it H-O-U-S.
Yeah.
All right.
The Leaky Ship.
Not quite sure what he said, but let's keep moving. What would happen? What would happen if you gave up email? I don't think I could survive. All right, Michelle?
Oh, I'd be in trouble.
Oh, man.
I'd be in so much trouble.
Well, tell us the story of what happens if people give up email.
Well, all right. I will do that. Researchers in the University of California asked 13 people to give up email for 5 days. There were men and women ranging from chemical engineers to psychologists. No composing, reading, or answering email. They went cold turkey. The result? Nothing after day 1 and 2, but by day 5, there were noticeable differences. The test subjects were less stressed. Go figure. Their productivity soared. They got up and walked around the office more often. They spoke face-to-face with coworkers. They were able to focus on tasks a lot longer. The people involved reported feeling liberated, and the feeling lasted for a few days. The biggest problem when you work is that it's impossible to get away from email, which is why every one of the test subjects were back to their old ways within days.
Oh.
Right now, there's no way I could go 5 days without reading an email.
Things would crumble at the station, right?
Well, because all my programming comes in that way, and then I've got about 25 new people that email me 14 times a week. I love you all. Thank you.
I left radio for 3 years and took a corporate job. And I had, I'd say, a minimum of 3 hours of email per day. Corporate policy was you had to check your email at least 3 times a day, and they made sure you did. They're monitoring everything you do. But it was absolutely ridiculous. And then you might get in trouble for not being out in the field enough. And you're like, really? You make me do 3 hours of email answering stupid questions all day long. And you're complaining because I'm not out in the field. Well, figure it out.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was really, really gross. I was happy to get out of that job, even though it paid 5 times more than radio. You get to a point where you just, it's not worth it. I'm going to go back now. I'm going to go back and have some fun. A job that doesn't pay much. Right, Michelle?
I like it. I like it a lot.
Glad you said that. All right. Let's see. I had a couple more. Let's see. These are some most popular how-to searches. I thought these were kind of fun. How to tie a tie.
Oh.
How to lose weight. How to draw. How to make money. These all seem very common, right? Then you get into some you got to go really? How to make pancakes. Dumbity.
I don't know.
Other ones that are good, though, like how to write a cover letter. But then there's how to lose belly fat. But then there was how to make French toast. All right. That one kind of made me scratch my head as well. How to kiss. Really?
You're going to learn that from a video? I mean...
First, approach the mirror cautiously.
Yeah, maybe. I don't...
Ask for its permission.
Don't assume it's gender. Or your own, for that matter.
And the last one that really took me to the floor, how to get pregnant.
Oh, my Lanta. They have... Never mind.
All right. Then I found these for you. You got lots of kids, big family. Here's some embarrassing money-saving tricks that actually work, Michelle. First thing you can do to the kids, water down the milk.
Yuck.
Gross.
They already do that. It's called 1%.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you water down the 1%, what do you get?
Gross.
Water.
White water.
White water, exactly.
Tap water.
I do this one because I've read so much stuff that, and plus I don't like my clothes to smell like chemicals. I cut down on the laundry detergent. It's an easy one to do. And they say we use a lot more than we need to, that if they're telling you to fill up that whole cup, that you probably only need half of it.
Yeah, well, my kids are kind of stinky sometimes.
All right. I know this one from hanging out with Phillip. Flush less often.
Yep.
Sorry, it's just a joke. It's a joke. He doesn't do that. All right. Use expired coupons at self-checkout. A lot of machines will take them anyways.
That's crooked.
That is crooked. One I wouldn't try diluting your shampoo. I don't think that's going to work very well.
No.
Because I've tried that. What'd you say?
I was going to say not here with the water being so hard.
It's not going to work?
Nah.
I've noticed that you're getting down to the end of the bottle and you're like, oh, I can't go to the store for a couple days. I'm going to add some water to it. Doesn't work. All right. Reuse containers as bowls. Cool Whip bowls for cereal, for example. My personal favorite is the Jimmy Dean bowl. Reuse paper bags as trash bags. Don't put anything wet in them, though. Let your clothes air dry. Do you ever do that, Michelle?
Yes, I do, actually. I wash my clothes at the laundromat and take them home and put them on the line.
I do it all the time.
And I don't get this one. It says rinse your coffee filter.
Ew. Well, I have a French.
Coffee filters are dirt cheap. Come on.
I have a French press, so I don't even need those.
Same.
Ah.
No
All
Nescafe here.
All right. I'm going to save this next one for trivia because I think it'll kind of fit in. Here we go.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
And today it's girls versus boys.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. Have them answered immediately.
All right. These kind of don't really apply to trivia, but they are kind of cute. So I'm going to give you a series of words, a statement, and you have to tell me what the meaning of it is, if either of you can. All right. Or take a wild guess. Male answer syndrome. What is that? Male answer syndrome.
A fear of not checking your email?
No. Any other guesses? Male answer syndrome.
Is it like has something to do with like mansplaining?
Yeah, it's very close to mansplaining. It's
So
the
is it
tendency
like-
for some men to answer a question even when they don't know the answer. I know somebody who does that. All right. Street furniture.
Like the lights?
Yes. Lights, traffic lights, benches, bus shelters, garbage cans, even a public toilet. Street furniture. I kind of like that one. This town needs more street furniture. A trailing spouse.
Oh yeah. Is that somebody that just like walks behind their?
Right, that's what I was thinking too.
You ever? I see that at the grocery store like all the time.
Heel.
That's what guys do in the lingerie department.
Hold on to my pocket.
Yeah. No, that's not it. I actually did this once. In a relationship, the person who gives up their job in order to follow the other person to a new location where they found some really cool employment.
Oh,
Trailing spouse.
interesting.
Let's see. You know, I never knew this. A friend had told me about it. You can actually, if you do that, you quit your job and you move because a spouse got a really good job, you can actually qualify for unemployment in America.
Huh.
Yeah, you got to wait like 10 weeks, but you'll actually qualify for unemployment if you don't find a new job. I thought that was crazy.
Interesting.
All right. A bear jam. And it's spelt like the animal.
Oh.
Oh.
It's jelly made out of bear meat. No, it's not that. It's not that.
What would you spread that on?
Potatoes.
Potatoes. It's a traffic jam in an animal park caused by motorists stopping to watch one or more bears. Bear jam.
I see.
Yeah.
I saw that one time, but it was bison at Yellowstone.
Oh, bison jam.
Yeah.
All right.
Also good on potatoes.
I like this one. Himbo. Himbo.
Is that like a man bun?
No.
Darn.
Himbo. Himbo. Himbo.
Is it like the smell of his armpits?
No. Which we get all the time because we're short.
Right.
Yeah, it's not a him. That's not a himbo. Himbo. It rhymes with the word that it's like.
Like,
That is a male bimbo. Himbo.
And
A man who is very good looking but unintelligent or superficial. Himbo.
probably has that first one too, that male answering syndrome.
I think so. All right. On to some trivia. Average one of these last 8 days. Hint, it's something you and your spouse enjoy. Super easy.
Summer camp when the kids go to church.
Ooh, almost as good as this. Almost as good. Maybe even better. Average one of these last 8 days. It's for you and your significant other after you get married.
Honeymoon?
Honeymoon. There you go.
Oh.
During the holidays, 71% of us say we do what?
Hide. Drink.
Return gifts.
No.
Drink.
Say Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas is correct.
Ah.
Good job.
I'm-
Every second, some 16 million tons of this is falling to Earth.
Dust.
No, ma'am.
16 million tons?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you
Space
said?
trash.
It is not space trash.
Solar radiation.
I don't know
Aliens.
if I wish.
16 million tons of aliens?
No, rain.
Oh.
16 million tons of rain every second hitting the Earth.
From space.
Yes, Philip, from space. Do. Now you just proved you could be a himbo.
Didn't you say from space?
No, I don't think I said from space. Every second, some 16 million tons of this is falling to Earth.
Oh, tricky.
Tricky. I know. All right. I take the whole himbo thing back.
Thank you.
All right. Michelle, I'm going to give you 15 seconds to name 5 reasons to scream.
My kids?
On your mark.
Oh.
Get set. Go.
Traffic. My children are fighting. My dogs are fighting. There's something in the woods. And I have a flat tire.
Good job. Good job.
Thanks.
Something in
All real scenarios.
There's
That happens.
something in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it always goes bump in the night.
All right.
don't like
Philip, you have 15 seconds to tell us what makes you scream. And on your mark, get set, go.
People in general, how far everything is away over here. Hard water, bad internet connections, and long winters.
Boom.
Whoa.
I really
That
thought
last one was right on the line, but I'm going to give it to him.
I really thought he was going to say spiders.
I know.
I actually really like spiders, but just for the last couple days, there's been big ones just running across my bedroom floor.
See, that would make me scream.
Yeah.
And throw
'Cause
shoes.
I'm normally about like, oh yeah, do your thing, eat those, mosquitoes or flies or whatever you're doing, and hang out in your corner. But these ones have just been like booking it across my floor, and nope.
Yeah.
Are they like the big wolf spiders, the fuzzy ones?
They're not fuzzy. I don't know. I don't recall ever seeing them. At least maybe I have, but just not inside. But they've got small bodies, but big legs, but not like a daddy long leg.
They have like the little
creepy spider.
The little mandible
No.
thingies, so they're not the brown recluses.
No,
That's good.
I don't think they're dangerous. I don't know. When they're that close to me in my space, I get thoughts about them like crawling on me while I'm sleeping and stuff like that. So
Yeah, it's not okay. You
Nope.
stay in your designated area, or I will squish you.
So I have a spider hunter. It's called a cat. Doesn't Cheddar like take care of those things for you?
Yeah, Cheddar doesn't spend a lot of time upstairs.
And bring Cheddar up to your room.
Yeah.
We had some. I had one in the house, and it really freaked me out because it was so scary looking. Dark black with yellow stripes, like a bee almost, and
Ooh.
huge, about as big around as a 50-cent piece.
Holy
And
moly.
I quickly caught it and took it outside and set it free. And I just thought I sure wouldn't want to get bit by that one. It just looked nasty, almost like a little black spider transformer, and totally harmless. Scary looking though, but totally harmless. So
Yeah.
do. All right, couple more trivia questions. Average major airline uses 6,000 pounds of what each day?
6,000.
Pretzels.
I'll take that. I'm looking for snacks, but that works. Peanuts or pretzels. All right, 75% of American household women. This is written really poorly. In 75% of American households, women take care of what?
Laundry.
I was going to say that too.
No. Probably more. Probably
Cleaning the house.
negative.
Cooking.
Also may be true, but not what we're looking for.
Paying the bills.
Paying the bills. Phillip sneaking in. 4% of pet owners say they only let their pets do this on holidays.
Eat scraps.
Eat people food.
Eat people food. There you go. Eat scraps. I'll have to give you both credit for that one. The next closest choice was go to the bathroom in the house.
No.
It's a joke.
Man.
Wouldn't be the holidays without it. Which one is the lie? George Washington is known to have liked eating pineapples. The O in OPEC stands for oil. The zodiac sign for Capricorn is represented by a goat. Which one's a lie?
Can you say them one more time?
I'm going to say
George Washington is known to have liked eating pineapples. The O in OPEC stands for oil. The zodiac sign Capricorn is represented by the goat.
I'm going to say pineapple.
The pineapple. Phillip?
Gosh. I don't know about George Washington, but for fun, I'm going to say the oil one.
The oil one is correct. So if it does not stand for oil, what does it stand for?
What are the initials?
OPEC. OPEC.
Occupation? I don't know.
No. OPEC, so you don't get any bonus points there. Sorry. Wah, wah, wah. It stands for organization. The O in OPEC, and it's the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. All right.
Okay.
And the sign of Capricorn is a goat.
Feel pretty comfortable. I never would have got that. So.
All right. Average of 386 of these occur each day in China.
Trains?
No, it's a bad thing.
People getting demoted in their social credit system?
It's happening all around you right now. Fires.
Oh. Like,
this is going to be a tough one. Yeah, this is going to be a tough one too. Another one out of China. In parts of Western China, people put what instead of sugar in their tea?
Honey?
Negative.
Cream?
Negative.
Sake?
No. That's why they all have a bitter look on their face. Just kidding.
Ice? Vinegar?
Salt. Who would put salt in their tea?
Them.
I'm gonna try it though.
Yeah.
You gonna try it?
Yeah, I'm gonna
All
try
right.
it
Why
too.
not? I like tea.
All right,
Maybe they're onto something.
It could be. I made a
They've-
funny face, but it's usually what I have on anyways.
They've been doing tea a lot longer than we have.
Yeah.
That's true. We could be missing the boat. All right, everybody, or somebody, put some salt in some tea, drink it, and put it on Facebook so we can say if it's good or bad before the end of the show.
Bitter tea face.
And if you can, post a picture of your face after your first drink. Please.
I wonder if it's just like a spoonful, or...
Yeah, you got to do a whole teaspoon of salt in your tea.
Like...
I don't think so.
Not a pinch, just a whole teaspoon. Just like you would sugar, okay? All right, last one. This is another Spy the Lie. So you got 3 of them to choose from. Fidgeting is good for men's concentration, but bad for women's concentration. The world record for the longest time without blinking is 3 hours and 45 minutes. Anticipating sex makes your hair grow faster.
What was the second one?
The world record for the longest time without blinking, 3 hours and 45 minutes.
I'm going to go with that one.
All right. And Michelle?
What was the first one again?
Fidgeting is good for men's concentration, but bad for women's.
Seems like it wouldn't be good for anybody.
Right. I'm going to take fidgeting.
You're going to take fidgeting. Fidgeting is good for men's concentration. That's why we're doodlers.
Oh, well, then I must be a man.
Can't anybody be a doodler?
Right?
Yes, but if, using it as a form of fidgeting, because sometimes I'll do that when I need to do something. I'm listening to something. Maybe I'm on a phone call, and all of a sudden I just start doodling for no reason.
I do the leg shake.
Oh yeah. All right. And the lie was the blink, and Phillip was right. It's not 3 hours and 45 minutes. How long do you think the record is going without a blink?
I don't know. I was thinking it was longer, though.
How much longer, Phillip? Guess.
I don't know, like 8 hours, something.
30 hours and 12 minutes.
What?
That's crazy. Like,
also
how are you not just so tired that you blink?
I don't know.
And thanks to that person, dry socket is now not only for your gums.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He also holds the world record for the worst case of dry eye ever.
Hopefully there was like a cash prize or something.
Or some Visine.
And then that last one was right, too. Anticipating does make your hair grow faster. Have you seen the pictures of me with the curly hair? Lots of anticipation.
Fabulous.
That's horrible, isn't it? All right. When we come back, of course, we always wrap up your morning show with the odd news. Also have local birthdays going all the way through the weekend. And I'm going to go ahead and do a little entertainment news. I've checked out the movies for this weekend, and there's actually a couple good ones. So stand by. It's your morning show right here on Northern Lights Public Radio.
Northern Lights Public Radio is 102.7 KCHW, Chewelah, Deer Park, Colville.
Your KCHW morning show made possible by a donation from God-Fearing Brothers Auto Center. God-Fearing Brothers specializes in auto services, including repair, maintenance, and detailing. They also stock a full selection of tires, make glass repairs, offer towing, and have an auto sales lot on the corner of Highway 395 and Main Street at the light. For more information, you can visit the Auto Service Center at 806 East Main in Chewelah. Find them online at godfearingbrothers.com or by phone at 509-935-6414. KCHW FM thanks God-Fearing Brothers for supporting public radio in Stevens County.
You're listening to 102.7 KCHW, Chewelah.
You're listening to Northern Lights Public Radio on 102.7 KCHW, Chewelah, Blue Creek, Arden.
The Public News Service Joe Newscast, September the 9th, 2022. I'm Mike Clifford. Federal student loan relief applications expected to be online in a few weeks. Financial aid officers say this is also an opportunity to increase financial literacy.
At William Peace University, Director of Financial Aid, Dr. Valerie Clem-Brown, says she supports the Biden administration's plan to offer $10,000 in loan forgiveness to federal student borrowers with incomes of less than $125,000 a year. But she's also worried there hasn't been enough focus on increasing college freshmen' understanding of the amount of money they're borrowing and how their chosen career might affect their ability to repay it.
Most of us couldn't go out and just buy a house without taking out a loan, but we do our research and we figure out what we need to do so that way we're not, in the hole years from now. And I think the same thing needs to happen with student loans.
Research from the Education Data Initiative shows most borrowers have $460 in monthly student loan payments. Nadia Ramlagan reporting.
Navigating the complex maze of health insurance can be daunting, even for a seasoned professional. In Georgia, one woman is hoping to make the process easier, especially when it comes to single parents.
Cassandra Nelson is a single mother of 4 who says she's had her fair share of health complications. She says her kids are healthy for the most part, but after one daughter contracted COVID-19, her blood pressure skyrocketed, and the insulin coverage from their insurer was gone without explanation. Now, as part of a fellowship, a program through Voices for a Healthy Georgia, Nelson travels to underserved communities in places like Albany, Georgia, to steer others toward the help they need.
Advocating is something that I do. I like to be a voice for those that don't have a voice or don't know how to execute what they need.
Voices for a Healthy Georgia is part of the New Georgia Project, a nonpartisan voter registration group founded by Democratic gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams. The organization is facing an ethics complaint about its spending, which its leaders say is politically motivated heading into the November elections against Republican Governor Brian Kemp. I'm Tremel Gomes.
Now from CNBC, the Department of Justice Thursday appealed a federal judge's ruling to authorize a special master to review documents that the FBI seized from the Florida residence of former President Donald Trump. CNBC reports the Justice Department also asked the judge to pause her related order blocking the government from further reviewing documents marked classified that were found during last month's search at Mar-a-Lago. This is PNS. After an investigation found the e-cigarette maker Juul Labs deliberately targeted young people using a variety of marketing practices, Tennessee is among the states that will benefit from the court settlement. Juul has said its aim has been to transition adult smokers away from cigarettes, but states argued that its advertising showed otherwise. Tennessee, one of 34 states that will share more than $438 million. The Tennessee Attorney General, Jonathan Skrmetti, says in addition to explicit advertising to kids, the company is required to stop even so-called subtle forms of marketing through social media and other avenues.
Such as funding education programs, which let them put their name and the existence of their product in front of kids. They're not allowed to use people under the age of 35 in their marketing, so they can't pay influencers. They can't use celebrities who are younger, who appeal to younger people.
Though many Connecticut small businesses have weathered the pandemic, it's not been the easiest of circumstances. How are they doing now?
Small businesses make up almost half of Connecticut's economy, and they needed more than $14 billion in support from the Small Business Administration to stay afloat. Catherine Marks with the Connecticut District Office of the SBA says despite these tough years, she's been inspired to watch how well they've dealt with this call to action.
Small businesses deal with challenges every day. The pandemic just layered on such enormous challenges, and watching small businesses pivot was amazing. Watching a restaurant pivot from in-service dining to takeout and doing a spectacular job of it.
About 1,300 restaurants in Connecticut received SBA funding of more than $300 million to help them through the pandemic. I'm Edwin J. Vieira.
Finally, Mike Bowen tells us South Dakota regulators could get an updated map proposal this fall from a company behind a multi-state pipeline for underground storage of carbon dioxide.
Summit Carbon Solutions wants to capture carbon emissions from ethanol plants and move it through states like South Dakota to be stored underground in North Dakota. Gene Sakara of the New School for Social Research says there's a body of research about this technology for coal plants that cuts into arguments about its effectiveness.
The studies have shown that process actually emits 3.4 to 4.7 tons of CO2 for each ton that's captured and stored. So it emits more carbon dioxide than it captures and stores underground.
And a new report from the Institute for Energy Economics and Financial Analysis notes most large-scale projects have underperformed.
This is Mike Clifford, and thank you for wrapping up your week with Public News Service, heard on interesting radio stations, your favorite podcast platform. Find our trust indicators at publicnewsservice.org.
And hey, we're back. It's KCHW 102.7 Northern Lights Public Radio, looking at 8:34 as we give you segment number 2 in our morning show. We always started off with local birthdays. And Michelle, will you take us all the way through Monday?
I will. Okay, happy birthday today, September 9th, to Colton Poor, Ryan Walters, Julie Shalak, and happy anniversary to Ed and Rebecca Blankenship. Happy birthday tomorrow, September 10th, to Troy Dorrance. And happy birthday on September 11th to Chris Ludwig, Pauline Stolp, and happy anniversary to Bob and Joni Graybiel. And we have nothing for Monday.
All right, Phillip, how about a couple birthdays, celebrity birthdays to go through the weekend? And I think your mic's muted.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So for today, we've got Tom Wolfat turned 71. Hugh Grant is 62. Adam Sandler is 56. Henry Thomas is 51. Michael Bublé is 47.
Hey, and we just added a new song by Michael Bublé, and me and Michelle agreed it's the first Michael Bublé song we heard that was upbeat.
Yep.
Yay!
Cool.
Huh.
Saturday, we've got Jose Feliciano is 77. Colin Firth is 62. Guy Ritchie is 54. And on Sunday, we've got, let's see, John Hawkes turning 63. Virginia Madsen is 61. And Harry Connick Jr. is 55.
All right. Let's see a little history for today. We'll go to 1776 when the Second Continental Congress made the term United States official, replacing United Colonies. I never heard that one before. Wow. All right. 1893. You guys aren't as impressed as I am. Okay. 1893, Frances Cleveland, wife of President Grover Cleveland, gave birth to a daughter, Esther, in the White House. 1893. Then 1926, National Broadcasting Company, NBC, created by the Radio Corporation of America. In 1956, Elvis Presley made his first of 3 appearances on the Ed Sullivan Show. Let's see, 2005, New Zealand police recruit had a hand in his own arrest for an unsolved assault. As part of a training exercise in fingerprinting, the recruits gave fingerprints. Then they matched him to an arrest warrant for a serious assault.
Oh.
2014, it was the Apple Watch. And in 2015, Queen Elizabeth II became Great Britain's longest reigning monarch after 63 years and 7 months, beating the previous record set by her great-great-grandmother, Queen Victoria. And in 2019, scientists revealed evidence of humans' earliest milk consumption 6,000 years earlier from the dental plaque of the teeth of a prehistoric farmer from Great Britain. It's kind of different.
Well.
Yeah. Let's see. 1846 on Saturday, the Elias Howe received a patent for the sewing machine. There you go. Let's see. Last one I have here. Some of them kind of uneventful. And we'll move on to Sunday. On Sunday, Miss America pageant began its network TV debut on ABC. The year was 1954 that the pageant started. In 1962, Beatles recorded their first singles, Love Me Do and P.S. I Love You, at EMI Studios in London. 2002, Pentagon was redacted after repairs were completed exactly 1 year after the attack on the building. And that goes in hand with 2001 when coordinated attacks resulted in the collapse of the World Trade Center. Don't forget, Sunday is 9/11. And in 2021, the 20th anniversary of 9/11 was marked by President Joe Biden and former Presidents Barack Obama and Bill Clinton in New York. On to special events through the weekend, it's Michelle.
All right. Before I hit that real quick, I just wanted to say, if anybody hasn't seen that movie special that they did on Elvis Presley and like how he became a musician and all of that, I think it's a newer one with Tom Hanks. And I forget the actor that played Elvis, but it was actually pretty interesting. Like, it really illustrated all of the problems that he had or struggles that he had in his early stardom, and his influences and how he came up with his music and all that kind of stuff. And it was really interesting. So
there's been a ton of Elvis movies, so good review.
well, it's he's not in it, but but
I didn't mean Elvis movies. I meant movies about Elvis.
Right. Well, this one's pretty good. So
All right.
all righty. Special events for today. This one's shocking. Buy a priest a beer day.
And why is that so shocking?
I didn't think they drank.
They do.
Priests
I remember
drink?
the first time I realized that as a child when a local pastor showed up and knocked on the back door and asked if my dad was home and had a six-pack in his hand. Yeah.
Wow.
It's an okay thing for Catholic priests to have a drink. All right.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now that my brain is exercised, it's also Sudoku Day,
Okay.
401k Day, Teddy Bear Day, Wiener Schnitzel Day, Stand Up to Cancer Day, and Wonderful Weirdos Day. We have a day, guys.
Woo! Whoop, whoop.
Yes. Wonderful Weirdos Day. I like it. Tomorrow is Ants Day, German Language Day, and that's ants as in like aunts and uncles, not ants on the ground.
Or you could say, now we're back to the pronunciation thing. You could say Aunt's Day.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit too Western for that.
Okay.
Drive Your Studebaker Day,
Okay.
International Hot Dog Day, which shouldn't be confused with July's Hot Dog Day.
Or
I
Wiener
don't know.
Schnitzel Day.
Right.
Yeah.
Iguana Awareness Day, Swap Ideas Day, So Be It Day, TV Dinner Day, and World Suicide Prevention Day.
It's so sad that almost every day is TV dinner day for Scott.
Which is why we have a World Suicide Prevention Day.
Okay.
All right, and moving on to Sunday, it is Patriot Day, National Day of Service and Remembrance, National Emergency Responders Day, Libraries Remember Day, Make Your Bed Day, Grandparents' Day, Hot Cross Bun Day, Hug Your Hound Day, No News is Good News Day, Pet Memorial Day, Sustainable House Day, and Women's Baseball Day. Sunday is very busy.
I'm really curious what a hot cross bun is.
It's a bun, and they cut the top like a cross.
Like one of those little,
like the round ones.
yeah, like they it's like a cheap clover leaf.
Yeah.
Okay. Number of the day is 534,000, and that's the number of UPS employees around the world, which makes me say that's a lot of brown.
Yeah.
All right, let me navigate to it real quick. Some movies for this weekend if you're looking for things to do. First up, Barbarian. This is in the theaters. A woman staying at an Airbnb discovers that the house she's rented, hold on, is not what it seems. Woo, so scary movie. Lots of scary movies this weekend, actually. Athena, hours after a tragic death of her youngest brother in unexplained circumstances, 3 siblings have their lives thrown into chaos. This is, it's in theaters, but it's foreign language, which I thought was kind of strange. And so is the next one, Brahmastra Part 1, Shiva. This is a story of Shiva, who sets out in search of love and self-discovery during his journey. He has to face many evil forces that threaten our existence. Looks like it has lots of special effects, but it also is in a foreign language. I told you they're hurting for movies. Now, this one had my attention, House of Darkness. I believe this is the one. Yes, it's Justin Long. Driving home to her secluded estate after meeting at a local bar, a player out to score thinks his beautiful, mysterious date will be another casual hookup. While getting acquainted, their flirtation turns playful, sexy, and then sinister, which is the way most of my dates go.
Dun, dun, dun.
I do have a kidnap vehicle. Come on, from Z Nation.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
All right, sorry. Not
How
true.
are your bicuspids?
Yes. All right. For fans of shows like Game of Thrones, Medieval, story of 15th century Czech icon and warlord Jan Zika, who defeated armies of the Teutonic Order and the Holy Roman Empire. That's also in theaters. Speak No Evil, another scary one this weekend. Danish family visits a Dutch family they met on holiday. What was supposed to be an idyllic weekend slowly starts unraveling as the Danes try to stay polite in the face of unpleasantness. Okay, that sounds like nappy time. And then we actually have, it's also on video on demand and in theaters this weekend. Great Couples, one's romantic comedy and a tale of two people who believe in love but seem to never be able to find its true meaning. And then in a wild twist of events, fate puts each in each other's path on a stormy New Year's Eve, and comedy and chaos ensue. It looked kind of funny on the trailer. So that's called About Fate. And the last one on Netflix, End of the Road. This is Queen Latifah, always fun. It's a high-octane action thriller. A cross-country road trip becomes a highway to hell for Brenda and her family. Alone in the Mexico desert, they have to fight for their lives when they become the targets of a mysterious killer. There's your movies for this weekend. Kind of spooky stuff.
Good thing she put that no death clause in her contract. We would know what happens already.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, she's not allowed to be killed in any movie. Part of her contracts.
Yeah. Anymore.
Right. Anymore. That's right.
So she dies and set it off.
I want to be famous so I can require things. Right. Like while I'm doing the morning show, my coffee cup must remain filled at all times.
Only blue Skittles.
Yes. Actually, I prefer the green ones.
Gross.
All righty then. Get out the frying pan. Here we go.
Slap some bacon on a biscuit and let's go. We're burning daylight.
It's the world of strange. A world gone wacky.
Out here, due process is a bullet.
And some of the scariest people on the planet.
I think you're bluffing. Be afraid. You know, you look mighty pretty when you get mad.
It's your odd news on KCHW.
Just sit back and enjoy the show.
All right. We are going to start with the news attack, where the first part is true and the second part is always a bad joke. I'm going to skip the first one because it's just not funny. We shouldn't be making jokes about the Queen yet. But the second one is kind of cute, so I'll be the jerk to do it. 96-year-old Queen Elizabeth passed away after 90 years on the British throne. Pretty sure my late dad spent as much time on the throne.
And unrecognized for it.
And is totally unrecognized for all of that. Sorry, Dad. All right, let's move along. Phillip.
A study found that you get a better night's rest if you let your dog sleep in your room. Plus, when you sleepwalk, the dog gets some exercise.
Bonus. Michelle.
All right, and as I've been telling everyone about the cooling temperatures, it is apparent that fall is on its way. And I can tell, because bad new television shows are starting to fall off the trees and pile up in the yard.
It's amazing how many get canceled in the first few weeks. For some reason, I like to watch that. I don't know.
You know, we've been watching that House of the Dragon, which is like the spin-off of the Game of Thrones. It's the House Targaryen or whatever it is, and it's actually pretty good. And the Lord of the Rings one, too, that they've got out is pretty good, too.
Oh, yep. I watched that one.
I like that one a lot.
All right. Some people want Donald Trump immediately arrested for keeping top secret nuclear documents in Mar-a-Lago and for pronouncing it nuclear.
That's another one. We skipped that one earlier.
I always have a hard time with that word, too, though. So, all right.
Nuclear.
Yeah. Back to you, Phillip.
The United States will soon drop out of the top 50 nations in terms of life expectancy. Shame on you, KFC.
I didn't know they were to blame. I thought it was the Baconator.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
As you may have heard, the United States will soon drop out of the 50 nations in terms of life expectancy. Or, to put a positive spin on it, America will soon be number 1 in early admissions to heaven.
Yes. Really? You think we're going?
That's like Americans don't go to heaven.
Kind of presumptuous.
I mean,
what? What, Michelle?
There's other places that are worse. You know.
Okay. All right. 1 in 10 adults say they're too busy to drink more water. Sorry, I can't possibly find the time in between consuming pizza slices, McNuggets, Slim Jims, and Baconators. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Oh, the saltiness.
Onto the world of wacky but true. We got lots of wacky but true stories today. They don't come with any stupid jokes. It's all self-contained, but we might add a movie clip, and Phillip kicks it off.
Dignitaries gathered to inaugurate a footbridge in the capital of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Just as an organizer cut the ribbon at the ceremony, the bridge buckled. Both its handrails broke off, and the central section slumped into a stream a couple of yards below. Nobody was hurt. One of the last people to climb free was a man in military fatigues and dark glasses who was clutching an unopened bottle of champagne.
And he said, "I'll be keeping this."
Probably stepped on somebody, I got it. Don't worry, guys.
I was surprised by that because there's not a lot of fat people in Congo. Oh, okay. Fake laugh? Anybody? All right. Maybe this will do it then. I did actually catch some live footage. Hang on.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
No? How about this one?
You know what it's like to fall in the mud and get kicked in the head by an iron boot? Of course you don't. No one does. That never happens. Sorry, Ted. It's a dumb question. Skip that.
That made him laugh. Wow. All right, Michelle, you're up.
I like it. All right. A man has been found safe after he spent 2 days aloft in a hydrogen balloon, traveling about 200 miles after it became untethered and flew away while he was using it to harvest pine nuts from a tree. The man and a partner were collecting pine nuts on Sunday in a forest park in northeastern China when they lost control and the balloon sailed off. The other person jumped to the ground and a search was launched for the escaped balloon. Researchers were able to contact the man by cell phone the following morning and instructed him to slowly deflate the balloon to land safely. It took another day before he reached the ground close to the border with Russia.
Ooh. Lucky he didn't get shot down. I'd be releasing the... Or what?
I said or unscripted.
I would have been releasing the air a lot faster than he did. I actually have one of his transmissions. Here we go.
Yeah, come on. I'm here waiting for you. I'm on the moon.
Went all the way to the moon?
That's nuts.
Oh, that's pine nuts.
Yeah.
All right, back to me, I guess. During his hike at a wilderness park in British Columbia, Canada, Ian Ward noticed a number of people enjoying cannabis. He had no problem with that, but he's upset that they didn't properly dispose of the butts from their joints, since he was hiking with his dog named Jefferson. At the summit, he noticed Jefferson was chewing on something and pulled it out of the dog's mouth. As they headed back down, Jefferson, who normally has a ton of energy, became lethargic, had glassy eyes, and was stumbling a lot. He eventually laid down and refused to walk anymore. Ward was prepared. He always carries an emergency supplies, including a dog pro sling for a hurt dog. He's never needed it before. He said a device allowed him to safely carry Jefferson the dog down the mountain. And you guys want to hear what Jefferson the dog had to say?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Hello.
That was actually kind of scary.
Poor Jefferson. All right, Phillip.
A thief in Colombia tried to pull off a robbery at the wrong place. He attempted to rob a martial arts school, but students used their combat skills, no surprise there, and took away his gun and put him in the hospital.
I've heard of taking a knife to a gunfight, but you don't take a gun to a karate fight.
You can learn martial arts,
On,
Scott.
right hand. Wax off, left hand. Wax on, wax off.
And they waxed him off. All right, Michelle, more food stories.
All right. When three cooks. Okay. Let me try that again. When three crooks were disturbed during a robbery at a restaurant in Uruguay, they acted very calmly. The thieves had already locked one employee in a back room and forced another to hand over cash when they were interrupted by customers. Instead of fleeing the scene, the trio stayed around for a bit serving food. See, so they were cooks. Crook cooks.
Crook cooks. All right, that's kind of nice. I imagine it was kind of like this.
Spartans! Ready your breakfast and eat hearty. For tonight, we dine in hell!
A little too scary, possibly. All right, another one, another food story. Say yes.
Yes.
All right, in Germany, man plowed into two parked cars. Unable to restart his car, the man fled on foot. Investigating officers were quickly able to determine at least part of the reason for the accident. They found a half-eaten spaghetti dinner inside the car, which the man had apparently been chowing on at the time of the crash. Using vehicle records, police paid a visit to the man's home. When he answered the door, the police noticed stains from spaghetti on the man's shirt.
Also, the headline for this is just funny.
Read it.
Driver distracted by his pasta.
And live to the scene as they arrest him.
Please, I'm just a desperate guy trying to feed his family.
You don't have a family.
I'm in a family of one.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. All right. Let's see. I guess it's back to me again. More food stories. Is this 4?
Didn't you just do one?
Yep. It's Philip's
Oh,
turn.
I did. Yeah. Sorry, Michelle.
Now it's Philip's turn.
Now we're lost.
A Little Caesar's Pizza joint in Pensacola, Florida was burglared. Security camera showed the man checked the door before the business opened and found it unlocked. He was wearing boxer shorts and tube socks and nothing else. Though once inside, he found an apron and put that on too. Then his plan, if he had one, began to fall apart because the door he came in had locked behind him. So he crawled into the ceiling in an attempt to escape, but fell through the ceiling back to the floor, and that set off the burglar alarm. The man was arrested by responding deputies as he crawled out the drive-through window.
Wow.
That is a bad day.
I'm going to send these nuggets back. Here we go.
Where's the food? Is there any food left? I'm really hungry, so is there any food left in here, huh?
Could have had a problem. And Michelle.
Right. When police in Manchester, England, pulled over a driver who ran a red light, they suspected he was intoxicated. Before being breathalyzed, he shoved a load of coins in his mouth, apparently because he read an online myth that sucking a copper coin can fool the breathalyzer by changing the chemistry of saliva. It didn't work. The driver's blood alcohol content was measured at more than double the legal limit. Police shared the story online and wrote, "Don't believe all you read on the internet, guys."
Also
And how
gross.
Right?
Like a handful. What if he swallowed any of them? All right. Here we go.
Why don't you do the world a favor and pull your lip over your head and swallow?
All right. That is your odd news for a Friday. As we head out today, a couple quick reminders. Don't forget Farmers Market and the pie eating contest today. Your Farmers Market runs from 11 to 3:30. Then on Saturday, between 6 and 10, it is a reunion for all the Park Avenue players. And there is a lot of people that have been involved, decades and decades of great plays here in Chewelah. So get out for that Saturday night, 6 to 10 at the Chewelah Center for the Arts. Other than that, I wish you both a good weekend. I wish you, all the listeners, a good weekend. And a big round of applause. And thank you for Philip and Michelle for showing up this morning and doing the show. There you go, guys. All right, we head out and we invite you all weekend long. Keep on listening to Northern Lights Public Radio. Have a good one.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, come on, I'm here waiting for you. I'm on the move.
best thing I have ever put in my mouth.
Good girl.